I know.
Okay, we're going live now. Fuck, I hate when I do that. I always rub my hands together, and it's like an annoying noise. And every time I do it, I'm like, ooh.
And you listen back to it, and you're like, oh, that's awful.
Yeah. Oh, it says that we're
like
live.
a shitty skin cricket.
Yeah. Hello, Internet. How are you?
Hi, Internet.
As you can see, we do not have our usual guest host, our usual other host, Derek Bolin, because he has given birth to a beautiful baby boy 12 weeks early, I want to say. Damn it.
Something like that.
I just asked my girlfriend to clarify, and she said, yeah, his name is...
His wife gave birth to the baby. He did not give birth to the baby.
His wife is not on the podcast, so she doesn't matter. No, I'm just joking. Kate gave birth to Derek's baby boy, Aiden Chance Bolin, 12 weeks early. Nice. So he's doing the whole looking after. Is it bad to say preemie baby? Have we moved on from that?
I don't know. I think this. I think that's the only word. I don't know. I haven't heard anybody else call their.
I don't know if that's one of those
babies. I couldn't even bring myself to say it. I had to say early arrival baby. Pre-date assumed person.
Yeah, that's one of those things where it's like, I don't know if it's offensive, but if it is offensive, I get why it's offensive, because it feels like if you're like me and you're partially a sociopath and people tell you words are offensive, any words that end in IE usually end up being offensive.
Yeah, that's a good call. That's a good rule.
It's a good rule of thumb for people out there who don't have empathy.
I think it's one of those words that only premature babies can use when they get old enough to speak. They're like, yo, what's up, my preemie?
Okay. Derek's premature baby. No, how about that? We'll say that.
Yes. His premature arrived new person.
This is episode 217. You know what?
We're not watching the Dale Show, for the record.
No. Yeah, this is Outrage Factory. The show
where
we
look like you're watching the Dale Show.
Talk about what makes people angry and why they're dumb for caring. I think that's what Derek says every time. I always forget.
That sounds perfect. You did a great job. You nailed it.
You figure after
because
200
you were so you did it perfectly.
You figure after 217 episodes, I would have figured it out, but not this time, baby. So, Jeff, I sent you a list of all the stuff we're going to talk about. Oh, I have one to add, but we don't have to cover that right away. Is there anything you wanted to cover specifically right away, or?
We can get right into it. I had an additional one that we can either save for later or start with.
What is it? Is it good?
I mean, it's not really that good. It's just.
Does it have to do with a Canadian band?
No, it doesn't. No, not this time. Not this time.
Because I have an additional entry that has to do with a Canadian band.
Let's start with yours. That sounds awesome.
Hot off the press yesterday, we're canceling Arcade Fire. And for a guy who had to listen to too much Neon Bible in college, I'm okay with it. Even though they did worm their way back into my heart with that song last year. Oh, I always forget what it is. They had a song on the radio that was good. So anyways, the lead singer, Quinn Butler, here, I'll put a link in the comments section on the live stream, Jeff, so you can see
misconduct.
It. Yeah, so he is being accused of sexual misconduct, which is different because it's not sexual crimes or whatever. So this is a less charge where it's like this is basically where it's like you're kind of a creep and not like you're an aggressive abuser person. So he hasn't been like charged with sexual assault or anything. So it's just misconduct at this point.
So in hockey terms, you get 5 minutes for fighting in a game misconduct.
Mm-hmm.
So misconduct's pretty bad still.
Yeah. So in hockey terms, this is roughing instead of fighting. So this is
So it's okay.
Yeah. So this is a lesser charge.
Okay. I don't know what sexual. Yeah, I don't know what sexual misconduct is. I don't know what that exactly means.
Okay, this is like
you got in on a dicey one. Let's start with a dicey one.
Yeah, okay.
You're like, it's less than regular sexual abuse. It's like, no, I don't think that's a thing, but
yeah,
go for it.
He didn't do stuff like sexually assault someone. He did stuff like quasi grooming, exploiting his position of power over fans, where he's had run-ins with 4 women who are aged 18 to 23. And this was between 2015 and 2020 when he was aged 34 to 39. So that's give or take 16 years older.
I mean, that's gross.
Yeah, that's what it is. Misconduct is like gross behavior where it's like it might seem consensual to one person, whereas the other person was like, I was only kind of doing it because he was in a band.
Did you say consensual?
Did I say? Oh, maybe.
I think you said consensual. I think you meant consensual, but I think you said consensual, which I think is now a new term that you just coined.
Consensual. This was supposedly consensual sex that he claims it was all consensual, and the girls don't say it wasn't consensual. They're more like, I wasn't in a position. I just respected him so much as the band and stuff. So everybody's rushing to cancel him, especially the fans of Arcade Fire, because that's more of the artistic left people.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know how to explain that, but that group's fan is more the group of fans that would be more upset with something like this than, say, heavy metal fans.
Right. Or like Headley, for example. Headley fans.
Headley, when they found out he did bad stuff, they're like, well, yeah, it's Headley.
He's a rock star. We sort of expected that from him.
Yeah.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one to start. How do we follow this one with something else?
We could talk about this a bit because I think you
breaking me in gently. Yeah.
You kind of mentioned something where you're like, this is rock star stuff, because it's like it is for forever, like the 70s up until I guess 2015 or whenever the Me Too movement started. It was just like granted, not like okay, but
it's like nobody watched the Motley Crue video, the documentary from a few years ago. Like, but that shit was rampant. Or like Van Halen.
Yeah, it wasn't accepted. Like, it wasn't like, oh, that's okay. It was like, yeah, that happens, where rock stars would take advantage of like groupies and young people and have sex with them. But now more and more with society, especially indie bands like Arcade Fire, we're like, no, you have to like kind of stop having sex with these younger women and stuff, because it's kind of almost
weird. It's getting weird.
It's like it used to be.
Like treading a razor's edge of what's right and what's wrong.
It used to be just creepy, and now we're like, it's a little bit more than creepy, where it's like action. It's not actionable in court, I don't think, but it's actionable where we're not going to listen to your music anymore.
Right. Yeah. And especially like alienating their fan base.
Mm-hmm.
Like based on this. I mean, it comes back to like, why can't people just be normal? But it also comes back to like, they're relatively young. Arcade Fire, they started a long time ago. You give a bunch of money, and I know you say indie band, and I also have another question about that. Where's that crossover threshold of when a band becomes an indie band to a mainstream band? Because like Arcade Fire, pretty popular for a Canadian band, like worldwide.
This is one of those pedantic terms where you say indie, where this isn't indie like indie standing and fame. It's indie musical brand. It's like that alternative brand where it's like,
I got you. From the 90s, where it's alternative. I'm like, well, the Rolling Stones are alternative by that definition.
So this is an indie, like they're independent recording artists. This is indie as in they play music that is the indie style. That would be put me on the spot trying to think of that would be like churches or churches, like I like to say, or like Metric, and where it's like that pop indie sound.
Gotcha. Yeah, totally. I'm with you.
I totally forgot what I was just gonna say. Well, anyways,
So did I. I think I tangented off of some tangent. Welcome to Tangent Factory, where it happens
Yeah.
every time, even with guest hosts. Um, yeah, that I was talking about something completely different. I was trying to make and I'm trying to make a point about the sexual misconduct, and then like I got completely sidetracked by what defines indie versus
Oh yeah.
mainstream. I don't know. I'm fucking off left field. All right, that was
Mm.
quick.
Oh,
What
we
are you
could go
drinking today?
back. Oh, I'm drinking a Molson XL, the
Well, look at you. No near beer.
save on example of fake beer. I don't drink real beer anymore because I don't know. I pretend this stuff's healthy. Healthy.
I
It's
don't
just
really
like
drink it.
beer flavored pop.
Nice. I went on a date with my wife last night, and I had an alcohol drink for the first time in a really long time.
Nice.
And
How was that?
it was weird. It was an old fashioned, but it had tequila
Ugh.
subbed in for one of the other
Oh, weird.
uh,
I feel like you can't
alcohols, and
call
it
it old
tasted
fashioned with tequila.
like, yeah, I guess not. Yeah, they called it an Oaxaca old fashioned, and it just, I don't know. I was like, I'm gonna try this, and it tasted like, the only way I can describe the flavor and taste of this drink is it tasted like my grandpa's coffee table, like a pack of Rothmans and orange glow. I don't know. It was like the weirdest. It was the weirdest flavor. Anyway, I'm out back off the alcohol again. So like,
Oh, you're
it
back
was, as
off?
this is one drink, and it was like, yeah, whatever. Well, not really super into it, so I was just like not drinking. Anyway, I thought I'd try a drink that like sounded pretty good, and I was like, man, I'm on the waters.
Yeah.
Hard water. Oh, it's just regular.
Okay. Yeah. I was
Yeah.
gonna
Okay. So
try.
going back to what we were talking about. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I think we have a little
So
bit of
what did you want
lag.
to say about sexual misconduct? Oh, okay.
Do we have a little bit of lag where it's like you don't hear me right away? Because I feel like we're talking over each other a lot, but I think that might be why.
That might just be me.
Oh, we'll blame
I
the
might
lag.
just be talky ovary.
Yeah. But what I was gonna say about the difference between misconduct, like sexual misconduct and sexual assault, is I don't feel like misconduct is a crime, whereas assault is. Like assault is where it's like you don't have consent and or you do battery or you
Right.
go further than they were willing to go after you get consent. Whereas misconduct is still kind of like, yeah, what he did was legal because they were over 18, but they were still 16 years younger than him. So it's gross.
So it's
But I
gross.
don't
Yeah.
know if when Butler's going to get charged from this type of deal, that would be what I would draw the line as, where it's like,
Yeah. Once
so
they
it's
bring
like,
legality into it, totally.
yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, if you want to stop listening to anybody for whatever reason, like a recording artist, then go ahead. But I don't feel like this should be one of the ones where you can't listen to it. Like this isn't a Michael Jackson, R. Kelly situations where if you
Right.
listen to them, you become the villain. This is kind of like if you were on the fence, maybe don't listen to them. But yeah, I don't condone this behavior. I think it's
Done.
creepy,
Yeah.
but
I already don't listen to them, so
it
it
is
doesn't
creepy.
matter.
Yeah. I was like, there was that one song I was fuck, and now I gotta mention it because there's one song of theirs I like that because I hated Arcade Fire for the longest time because Neon Bible just got played way too fucking much and I just couldn't
Yeah, you
stand them.
overdid it.
But then they had that one song the last year, I think it was off. Okay, let me just see. I'm sorry, I'm looking it up in
No, that's
Spotify.
okay.
I mean, this is par for the course on what we're
On Outrage Factory,
yeah.
on look up on the Internet Factory.
Sorry.
So no, I said I'd look it up on the Internet Factory.
Yeah.
Our show. What was that song? I heard that song on the radio like all the time in the morning on the radio because I'm an old person who listens to the radio in my car on the way to work. An old star. No, I listened to it for the for a friend of the podcast, Jeremy Baker. I listened to him on the radio in the morning,
Oh,
and
nice.
but I've been on vacation, so I haven't been going to the work, so I have
Oh, yeah.
so I have no reason to listen to the radio right now.
Okay, it had to be off of
Why don't you sing it?
God. Creature Comfort. That's the song.
Oh yeah.
off of Everything Now from 2017. That was like, that's a good song that has like a driving beat and stuff.
Yeah.
But also, creepily enough, in that song, there's lyrics that says she was in the bathtub and she planned, like, he's singing about a girl where
Yeah.
she's in the bathtub and she planned to slit her wrist listening to Arcade Fire's first record.
Is
Now,
that one, like, if you can't something to make me famous or whatever?
yes, that's the
yeah,
song.
Okay. Yeah.
And
I can't
it's
think
like,
of the words of it.
are those lyrics pertaining to one of the
To what's
girls
going on.
from this? And that would just ruin the band entirely, because in one of the girls is kind of like there's 4 girls in total. 3 of the girls are like, yeah, we did stuff. It was creepy. And he kind of messaged me too much. But then on the other one, he says he had to tell a security guard not to let the specific girl inside of his, restaurant and stuff, and that she was like kind of overbearing and she got super depressed and obsessed with him. So I'm like wondering if that's the girl. But she said she had to go to his restaurant because her boyfriend worked at his restaurant. So this whole thing, like, there's like, it just like gets like, oh, so it's like, of the 4, one of the girls, you're like, wait, is this,
How old is he again?
When this happened, he was 35 to 39. Yeah, 34 to 39.
Fuck.
And they were 18 to 23. So
that is too old. That's too old. It's too old for this kind of drama. This is high school bullshit stuff. He's too old for this bullshit drama.
Yeah, I'm 43 now.
Yeah.
And if 3 years ago, some girl wanted to like expose me to 18-year-old girl drama, which is totally fine. You're trying to figure yourself out, but I wouldn't have the patience for it. I'd be like, I'm not having any of this. But on the other hand, I wouldn't like text message girl, because like what happened was the girls would message him on Instagram and be like, hey, I love your music. And he'd be like, well, obviously she wants to have sex with me. And then he'd like send them sexy messages. And the first 3 were like, ew, gross. But this last one like got obsessed with him. So it's like,
yeah.
I mean, since it happens to me so often with the Outrage Factory Instagram, when they're like, we love your podcast so much. And then they like send me sexy messages. That happens every day, but I'm such a good person that I'm like, ma'am, I call them ma'am. So they're immediately turned off. I go, ma'am, you are way too young to handle the heat. No, just kidding. I'm just like, I'm too old. This sounds like work. Leave me alone.
I don't think you're ready for this jelly. I'm sorry.
Yeah. They're like, jelly?
Like,
and
what
I'm
is
like,
he talking about?
Yeah, I'm old and my body's soft. I call it jelly now.
Yeah. I don't think that you could handle all of this.
Yeah.
This is even more than you could take.
Yeah. There's a lot of handfuls here, and I'm not talking about my junk.
Many handfuls. You're gonna need, I don't know, go like this and just, can you make it all the way around? I don't know. I don't think you can. So just, yeah, man. I don't know. I just like, I can't, like, I'm 46.
Yeah.
I like barely have the energy to do the regular things in my life.
Yeah. Like just going to work and maybe going to the gym. I'm like,
yeah.
That sounds like a lot.
The only reason I do that is because I have this pattern established where I get up every day, same time, go to work at the same time, eat my lunch at the same time, come home from work at the same time, hit the gym at the same time, cook dinner at the same time. I'm like fucking in pajamas by the same time of day. I'm like, do you want to text me? Go ahead. I'm like, oh, Dale wants to do the podcast. Okay, cool. I'm in. End of conversation. I have like no time for chats. No time for chats.
Yeah, except for all those sexy messages unrequited you sent me.
Well, just trying to get in your DMs, baby.
Yeah, everybody knows that that's a lie because they would never be unrequited.
You're like, I'll be right over.
Yeah. What?
Yeah. I'm already hard. What? Coming in hot. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Ooh, yeah.
You had me at H. Oh my god. All right. Yeah. Yeah.
You had me at 3 dots.
Yeah. Ooh, Dale's coming over.
He read it. He's into me.
He's into it. Oh, there's no way he's not coming over.
Yeah.
God. I'm choking on my water.
Do you want to talk about another canceled guy who is actually a terrible person and not like kind of in the gray area that
Yes, I do. Let's do that.
Arcade Fire is? Let's talk about Andrew Tate.
Okay.
The guy who nobody knew who the fuck he was 3 weeks ago, including myself. And then I first heard about him on the Flagrant podcast, which used to be the Flagrant 2 podcast with Andrew Schultz, who is a very offensive and hilarious comedian. But they were kind of laughing about Andrew Tate because they're basically talking about how he's a piece of shit. Yeah. And he's like he lives in a different country because he actually couldn't really exist in the same way he does in America because he's so offensive. And he got kicked off Big Brother in 2016. I guess that's where most people know him from.
So he was a reality show contestant?
Yeah, his titles, I think he's like 3-time kickboxing world champion. But I also think he's on like palimony from a girl that he was married to. Like, it's all like this is just like a fucking onion in the worst way.
That's a deal I need, is to be on palimony. That'd be that's like, Andrew Tate aside, it'd be rad to just I don't know.
So he got kicked off of Big Brother because there was a video which appeared to depict him attacking a woman, and it kind of just went down the hill from there. He said he went to I'm trying to find out which country he lived in, because he went there because he said he liked how corrupt it was and that it was a poor country. So that, like, unlike Christ. America, where only the rich people can bribe like the courts and police and stuff, he was like, this country, Hungary. He said he liked Hungary because the level of like shady bribery and stuff is open to anybody with a couple of dollars. So it's like me or you can move there and bribe judges and cops and stuff, instead of being like, you have to be super rich back here. And he's he's like, he has this like university online for like how men can pick up women, but he's not that pickup artist guy we all knew who was like 3 years ago, and I don't know anymore. But
he sounds like a real winner. I mean, here's me saying this from my bedroom with my friend Dale on the internet. Yeah. But like, I don't know, man. I didn't know who the hell he was until I saw Instagram posts from people being like, this guy is like preaching to young boys and telling them that it's good to be misogynist and that women should take responsibility for their own sexual assaults. And I was like, okay, well, A, guy sounds like an asshole. B, I'm not gonna like look him up. So this is where this gets fun for me, is like on Outrage Factor. I'm like, I know I'm supposed to be outraged about this, but I don't know who this is.
No. This is other people are outraged, but you should be outraged by this guy, but you don't have to be, because he's getting erased from the internet. He's been banned from YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, which comes along with Facebook, and TikTok, which if you get banned off of TikTok,
you're fucking bad news,
without saying the Chinese government is bad or that you support Ukrainians over Russia or Taiwan's its own country, then if you get banned off TikTok for not being political, you fucked up, because there is some terrible shit on TikTok. So my question is like, this whole thing of like he's tracking with males aged like 10 to 15 or 10 to 22 or whatever, like this is his big target demographic. And I was like, oh fuck, okay, I don't know who this guy is. The usual suspects on my Instagram feed are posting stuff about how terrible this dude is. I've never heard of him. I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna go to the source and ask. So I asked my 12-year-old son. I was like, hey, you're on the internet lots, do you know who Andrew Tate is? He's like, no. I was like, have you ever heard of a guy called Andrew Tate? He's like, nah, I've never heard of him. Like, so I think
so so I'm having those conversations with my son about like trying to figure out what's bad and what's good in the world, right? Because he started to get more internet savvy at 12, and I'm like, just stay away from shit like that. And he's like, I don't know who that is, so I don't know how to stay away from him. I'm like, that's a very good point. He's very smart, my child. But yeah, that's like, I thought, if this is the case and he's resonating with kids that age, and like getting them on board for starting to become early destination women hating misogynist pieces of shit, I better check and see if that's the case. So yeah, I mean, I didn't know who he was 3 weeks ago. I now know who he is, but he's not going to be on the internet, so he's kind of not going to be a problem directly to me anymore. And I understand that that's privilege and that's all that stuff, but like it affects my life absolutely nuts. But and I don't have the power to kick him off of social media sites. So what do I do in this situation with this information?
Yeah. So I think what this is it's like, you know how you're saying he's getting promoted to young teens. I think it was like maybe one of the problems with the algorithm being run by AI and not realizing something's bad, but it's just like, so Andrew Tate starts getting a lot of heat because the people who watch it are like, oh, this fucking guy and stuff. So the algorithm is like, oh, bunch of people are watching this guy. I'll start putting it out more, hopefully trying to draw people in. So it was like, yeah, they're just saying that it was getting how much it was appearing in their feeds, like recommended and stuff. Like teens were like, this guy just came out of nowhere.
That reminds me of the Morbius thing.
Yeah,
Morbius came out, they released it, and it was really shitty at the box office, and everybody was starting to make memes about it, and the memes were like bigger than the marketing for the movie. And so they're like, and Sony picked up on this. They're like, whoa, Morbius is super popular, like based on their algorithm, because they're seeing nothing but Morbius being promoted everywhere. They're like, we'll release it a second time, and it bombed again, like twice at the box office. It reminds me of that. They're like, this dude's a piece of shit. Everybody's like, who is this dude? Oh yeah, he's that piece of shit. And it's just like end of, and he's like, oh, okay, cool, we'll go back to not giving a fuck about this guy.
Yeah, like it's Morbin time.
It's Morbin time, right? Like there was so many, like even I knew the news. I've never seen Morbius, and I've just seen the piece of shit memes about it. And then I saw like Morbius to be re-released, and I'm like, why? It bombed the first time, and it bombed the second time. Yeah, somebody made a decision based on an algorithm, right?
We did cover that a couple episodes back.
Oh, did you? I'm sorry.
I can't remember which one, but yeah. I mean, we talked about like where I was like, I kind of want to see it just because it's technically a superhero movie. And to me, all superhero movies are like, all right. Some of them are better than all right. And some of them are like, it's kind of slow or whatever. But like,
this is going to be a situation where like you see like Iron Man 5 will come out in like the next 3 years, and you're like, if you haven't watched Morbius, you're not going to get the next really good one. Like, fuck, I can't believe I didn't watch Morbius. Now I'm never going to understand the plot of Iron Man 5.
Actually, to be a pedantic nerd, I don't think Morbius is in the MCU with the Iron Man universe. I think he's in the Spider-Man / Venom universe, which just can't catch a break. Yeah.
The Tom Hardy Venom movie was pretty. Tom Hardy? Not Tom Hardy. It was Tom Hardy? Who the hell was it?
It was Tom Hardy.
The Venom movie.
It was
Tom
really
good.
Yeah,
he was
both of them were good.
That was really good.
That's
I
another
seen the second one.
That's another superhero movie where people are like, I don't like this. And I'm like, I love
that was
Venom.
Really good, that one.
Yeah. And I like all superhero movies.
I've never seen where he sits in the crab tank. Where he's like, I'm hot. And he sits in the crab tank at the restaurant. That's like my favorite scene in the whole movie.
Yeah. I like when he was like, okay. And the Tom Hardy's like, what do we do? And Venom, like the symbiote, is like, rip off their heads, make 2 piles. Heads in the corner, bodies in the other corner. He's like, what?
Yeah. What?
We're not doing that.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, that's awesome. I got way off topic.
Hey, that's fine. That's what our fans are here for. Do you want to talk any more about this Andrew Tate guy?
That guy.
Basically, he's a piece of shit.
Space. He's hateful and he sucks.
He's a misogynist.
Anybody who advocates for speaking about women in that way or anybody in that way is fucked. So you just take a hike.
Yeah.
Andrew Tate, fuck off.
Oh, let's talk about this worst segue ever. This is back to when you asked me what I was drinking segue. Let's talk about the strikes that are going on specifically. The BC public. Oh, here, I got to find out what this union is called.
I meant to check to see if this ban is still on. It's the BC liquor stores, right?
Yeah. So what happened? Yeah, they're having the BC liquor stores are rationing people's alcohol that you can buy from the store, from the distribution site, because I keep saying keep saying all my S's as shish by accident.
Yeah, it's okay.
Because the people who work at the liquor distribution branch are on strike. So any hard liquor, spirits, if you will, and some ciders and like White Claws, like the cooler, what are those called? Wine coolers? They're not called
wine
that anymore, are they?
spritzers.
Yeah, wine spritzers and spirit spritzers, I guess they would call. Those are all
hard
rationing.
seltzers.
Yeah. So the no more than 3 of any individual items of liquor, with the exception of beer. Beer's not included because all the breweries and stuff that are in town can sell you beer without it going through the distribution warehouse.
Right.
But this took another hanky turn when everybody who thought that having sorry, to backstep a sec, it was the BCGEU strike, which I want to find out what that is exactly.
It's the
BC General Union
Employees Union.
Okay, is that fuck? I wish it had said what it was. I just want to find out what it is because there's been a couple other strikes going on. The overall cleaner at my work is on strike. So it's a BC General Employees Union. That's the one that's on strike. So Geoff was right.
That's what I
should have just listened to him. Now I'm a jerk.
Yeah, where I work, we have some people in that union. So there's 3 unions where I work at the in higher education, and BCGEU is one of them. Okay. So I'm very familiar with the acronyms.
Yeah, so this isn't a government specific union. It's just they have the government contract for the distribution warehouse stuff. Okay. Correct. Now, what I started saying before I jumped halfway through my sentence onto something else was that this is also affecting the cannabis sector, because cannabis stores, all the legal ones, they get all their cannabis through like the same distribution workers. Correct. I don't know if they go through the liquor branch, but it is still the BCGEU that does the cannabis distribution. There's the smart word for handling. Correct. So nice. A bunch of small cannabis stores have been forced to close their doors because apparently they can't like go 2 weeks without this.
There's so many cannabis stores that competition is super high right now.
Oh yeah.
Pun intended.
Hey.
but like there's literally cannabis stores, like depending on which town you go to. Like there's none in Burnaby because we're in Burnaby and they haven't allowed that any cannabis stores yet. So
good. Cannabis stinks. Don't allow it. I hate it so much. No offense to anybody who smokes weed. It stinks and I don't like it.
That's fair. Yeah.
Cancel me, motherfuckers.
He's canceled Dale for his anti-pot rhetoric.
The funny thing is,
I had this discussion. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, the funny thing about this whole thing isn't this necessary? Like during the pandemic lockdown, weed and liquor was fucking considered mandatory. So they pulled all the stops to keep the distribution of the stuff and keep the shops open so people could buy it. Yeah. Couldn't they do some sort of thing? Like if it's so mandatory, how come you're just fucking letting these cannabis stores close now?
Yeah. Yeah, that's weird.
Maybe it wasn't such an essential need before, and they just wanted tax money, huh?
Dale just going down that road of I hate cannabis so hard. I'm gonna go all in on this stance right now.
I don't hate cannabis. It's just, can't you fucking do science on it so it doesn't smell like skunks' assholes?
Yeah, like now that it's regulated by the government. Can you they're very into the scientific breeding of the plants, the pot community. Yeah. Get on the de-stinkifying it, right?
Yeah, you made it strong as shit. Make the scent
now make
less
it stink
strong.
less.
Like selective breeding it. So
crossbreed the plants, make the
Dude,
plants less stinky. I don't know. Fuck.
I'll even take fucking
do I look like,
vape
a
cotton candy
seismologist?
smell. Seismologist. I'll take vape
No,
cotton candy smell over what weed smells like.
dude, I was on my motorbike the other day with my visor open, and the dude in front of me did a big pull on his vape and blew out grape stink right into my face. It was awful.
Grape
no, it was
stank.
not, ew. No, it was gross. It was disgusting.
Yeah, but it's
that was in a guy's lungs.
yeah, but the weed smoke
And
was
now
also
it's
in
my
people's
nose.
lungs, but that smells like asshole
Yeah.
and not grape. I mean, they're both gross.
It's pungent. I see your point.
In a perfect
They're
world,
both
I
gross.
wouldn't have to smell other people. Full stop. Whether it's their cologne, their BO, their weed, or their vapes. In a perfect, absolute, awesome world, Dale doesn't smell any of that, and it's awesome, and he lives happy, and he doesn't complain about anything, and he stops having a podcast. But until then,
so you're keep the smells coming. That's your solution is a nose clip. The solution to all this rage and all this anger is this.
Yeah, but I listened
your nose shut.
I listened to a podcast that Joe Rogan did with a guy who talks about breathing through your nose. And he says that humans are meant to breathe through your nose because it does a circulation of the CO2 from your lungs. And that if you breathe through just your mouth, it's unhealthy and you won't live long and you won't be ripped like Joe Rogan. That's what I got from that. So basically you're supposed to breathe through your nose. Yeah.
You're supposed to breathe through your nose, and most people breathe through their mouths now. Their noses are less strong. I've heard this argument a number of times too. You have these things in your nose, science fact time. You have like hairs and cilia fibers in your nose that like literally purify the air. You're supposed to use your nose as a filter to block out stuff. But here's the argument: the world is so polluted that when you breathe in, it clogs your nose up, and inflames the tissues within your nose that you actually can't breathe through your nose, so you end up breathing through your mouth, and breathing through your mouth is the secondary choice.
Polluted with vape,
polluted with weed stink. I can't breathe
through my
nose because there's
shoehorned my shitty joke into your science
that was awesome. Yeah, welcome to the Outrage Factory Science segment with Dr. Jeff.
Otherwise known as
not a real doctor.
Otherwise known as let's see how long Dale can go without ham-fisting a bad joke in there.
Yeah. Let's see how long Dale can go without inserting himself into something.
Yeah. How about this? If you want to learn all about the nose stuff, go listen to Joe Rogan Ask a Nose Doctor for 3 hours about it.
Oh my God. Or don't listen to Joe Rogan. You could also just not do that. I don't know.
You're the perfect guest host because you hate Joe Rogan just like Derek.
I don't. Okay, I'm gonna make this very clear.
Yes,
I don't hate Joe Rogan. It's not Joe Rogan's fault. Joe Rogan's an idiot. His guests are also sometimes idiots, but sometimes they bring up interesting facts. I don't listen actively to the Joe Rogan podcast. I used to listen to the shortened snippets, like the 10, 15 minute interview clips with people, just to sort of hear what the scuttlebutt is. But like, I don't hate Joe Rogan. I don't hate Joe Rogan. I feel like he's important to culture.
He's the most important man in media.
As a foil for intelligence, if that makes sense. You have to have the Joe Rogans of the world in order to have the incredibly brilliant people of the world.
Are you saying like the old trope of having the comedian and the straight man? We also need knowledge to have the idiot and the scientist, and he's the idiot?
Dude, you can't have sweet without the sour.
That's true.
If you don't know what sour tastes like, how will you know how sweet is? That's all I'm saying. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not trying to be devil's advocate because, again, that's privileged fucking stance. But like you all things in balance. You have to have morons to have brilliant people. That's just the fucking that's it, right?
The funny thing about Joe Rogan is I know like 2 people who actually love Joe Rogan as much as me, but every single one of my friends is like, I don't like Joe Rogan. I'm like, that's fine. And I'm just happy I
just don't feel like he doesn't impact my life at all. I don't know. Whatever. He's inconsequential to me. Which is,
I mean, the
from
funny
one
thing
podcaster
is
to another. Fuck. I don't know.
if I didn't listen to him while I worked, I would never listen to Joe Rogan because it's
Oh my God.
it's too long for free time podcasting, whereas I can
Yeah.
only handle like hours and stuff, or it has to be like fun and entertaining. But since I'm like welding stuff and working with my hands, I can handle listening to 3 hours of Joe Rogan because it's
There you
like
go.
I can fade in and out, and I don't have to pay super attention to it. But
Nice.
and I do got to say there are a lot of Joe Rogan. Like I don't listen to every single one. There are episodes where I skip because the subject matter doesn't entertain me. Like he talks to a lot of like nutritionists and stuff, and I'm like, all right, I've heard enough of this.
You're like, I'm done with this.
I don't need any more Rhonda Patrick to tell me why I'm fat. I know it's because I eat food that's bad for me. But if I don't, I'll just always be hungry. But I always want to listen to like the space guys and the history guys and like guys like Duncan Trussell. And then he has this other guy, Mike Baker, who's like an ex-CIA guy who kind of talks about like what's actually going on with the CIA. And like, he doesn't know the inside scoop, but he knows like the motivations they would be taking in certain situations. So that's kind of nice and refreshing. But yeah.
I listened to one, and it was with Forrest Galante, who's like this explorer guy. And it was, it was kind of weird. I'm like, oh, I've never heard of this guy. Oh, and he was kind of interesting. And so so we ended up, my wife and my son and we ended up watching Forrest Galante's show where he explores like this cave. It was actually really interesting and cool. But then I started reading about Forrest Galante, and I was like, oh, this guy's not really like a biologist or a doctor of any kind. He's just a fucking dude that dresses like Steve Irwin and goes exploring caves. So it's like, huh, okay. I don't know if Joe Rogan fucked me on this or what happened. I don't know. I listened to one episode and this is what happened, and I brought my family into it, and now I feel guilty. So yeah. So it just all went to shit. I have an excellent segue for this into the next story. That's the one that I wanted to talk about.
Oh yeah, do it.
Speaking about the internet. Things about the internet. So this is one thing. Like I was in the forest for a week, so I like literally had no Wi-Fi. I was in Taft. I was between. I'm getting to the segue. I was in between Revelstoke and Salmon Arm, or Revelstoke and Sicamous, more in British Columbia here, in the fucking forest with nothing, with no, like my location was not available, and I got some bars on my phone for a few minutes, and I went on Instagram, and everybody was posting this shit about this exact location thing. That Instagram is allowing people to stalk you and rob your house when you're not home because your exact location thing is on. This was like huge news, like maybe 4 or 5 days ago. That people were posting this thing on their thing saying a new iOS update. The most recent iOS update turns on this thing on your phone on Instagram that allows people to find your exact location. Here it is. I found it. Important. Since a new update, people can find your exact location from Instagram, and this is being used by individuals to target people to commit crimes, including theft, stalking, etc. Please make sure precise location is turned off. You can do this by going to your phone settings, Instagram, location, and then make sure precise location is turned off. So I'm like, huh. I started seeing it. It kept going. It kept going. It kept going. And then I was like, I don't know, this seems fucking weird. And then yesterday, it was announced that this was all a hoax put on by a marketing company, and that has always been on. Your precise location on Instagram has always been on, but it was a marketing company trying to fuck everybody. And literally everyone I know, as I'm like, huh, what's going on the internet these days? And as I'm scrolling through my stupid ass phone, the usual suspects, the same people talking about Andrew Tate, were also posting this bullshit. It's like, I posted sort of like, I guess on Twitter the other day, just super randomly, I'm like, nobody fucking fact checks anymore. And it was sort of that, right? Like, did anybody like check the source? No, it's just like something like that goes viral and people start fucking, oh, I better repost this really quickly. The Instagram is bad and they're trying to fucking find my identity. It literally has been on the app since the dawn of time. And when you set it up, when you set the app up for the first time, when you first download it on your phone, if you don't deselect it, it's just there.
Oh, crazy.
It always has been. It always has been.
That's funny. So it was like an outrage phishing scheme.
Yeah, totally. So it turns out the whole thing was like created by a marketing company to create this viral thing that makes people angry on purpose against Instagram to like turn this thing off on their phone. So did you look it up while I was talking?
No, oh my God. I'll tell you what I was just doing on the phone right after we're done talking about this exact location, because it's fucking hilarious, but it'll totally derail this discussion. So we'll talk about it next.
Okay.
I was just going to say, I didn't hear anything about this fucking exact location. And then when you started explaining it about iOS update, I was like, good, fuck people with iPhones.
It also was on it. Yeah.
But
it was also on Android as well.
Oh, really?
It's the exact same setting. It's the same setting on every fucking app that you have on your phone.
Yeah. Like there was just this thing with that a while ago. I don't know if we talked about it on here or not, but there was this thing where there's an
app has location tracking on it will track exactly where your phone is.
Yeah, there was a Tim Hortons app that like almost got sued because they were not only keeping, it was supposed to tell if you were in a Tim Hortons or whatever, but it was collecting your data, like your location specific data, and just sending it away. And they were like reselling it to other people and stuff. And it turned into this huge news story. But from then on, every time I use an app now, it asks me, it's like, do you want to allow this to use your location finder? And I'm like, sure. Yeah. And you have the option of only while the app is open, only when you're using this app or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Like when it's the same on iPhones, right? So like you can change those settings every time you add an app to your phone. You can adjust those settings. It literally takes you through the process of that if you have your phone set up to do that from the start, right? So
it's funny that people have to keep relearning this. Like
it is and it isn't, right? Because it's like, I don't know. I just found that it was like something is fucking weird about this. Something is off about it. If this many people are talking about it, I shouldn't care about it. I'm gonna wait a few days and see what happens. And then I waited a few days and I see what happens. Andrew Tate is wiped from the internet, so I don't care about that anymore. And this we won't know where who he is. I'm like, fuck. Yeah, I didn't do anything with my phone. I fucking left it alone. I didn't go into the settings. I didn't touch anything in my settings. And I'm like, oh, look, shocking. There it is. It was a fucking marketing company doing it. So everybody on my timeline who posted that, hi, everybody on my timeline who posted that, please just fucking take 2 seconds and check the trusted source.
The funny thing was,
beg of you.
Yeah, I think my brother said something about wait 2 days before you decide to comment on something.
Yeah, he said that to me. He said, that's what he said. Which that is to me.
Perfect.
He's Congo Bill Ford, right?
Yeah, but anytime
I wrote that and he reposted that. So he's like, wait a couple of days and see. And I was like, yeah, that's usually what I do.
Yeah, but if you wait 2 days on lots of stories, most of the time it's just fucking gone into the ether.
It's gone. Yeah, it's gone. Yeah. It's gone forever. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really.
Because I'll go through like half days of stints of not looking at Twitter just because I get distracted with something else. If you can't tell from this podcast and the tangent, sometimes I get distracted, but I'll go back and then all the usual suspects, as you say, are talking about something, like somebody flamed out, like said something offensive and then got ratioed. And you're like, what? And you're like, I'm not going to go do some fucking Twitter forensics and go back through people's timelines to try to figure it out.
Care.
But it's like,
don't have that kind of attention.
Which kind of sucks for this podcast because it's like, that sounds pretty heated.
It's probably,
we could have talked about that on the pod, but I don't want to do that much research.
Yeah. It'll be gone in 2 days anyway. I always find that funny about watching this exact podcast because I usually watch it when you post it, like on Mondays or whatever. All right, I watch it afterwards, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, I already forgot about that." There was on like some other shit. It's like it reminds me of when we worked for newspapers, and it was like yesterday's news today, and it's like kind of the same thing, right? Like jokingly talking about like how newspapers take too much time to come out. Like we do this podcast, we talk about all this shit that happened in the last week, and people are already fucking outraged about the next thing. Like there's just shit probably going on Twitter right now. People are probably like, I took 5 years off of Twitter, 4 years off of Twitter, and it was like the happiest, most peaceful 4 years of my life. It was wonderful. And now I'm back on there. I'm like, why the fuck am I doing this? And so I can guest host this podcast with my friend Dale.
Exactly.
But I don't know. Fuck, whatever.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Like, there's like, it's been, I think, almost 3 weeks since we potted because Derek had his baby be born. And then I had like, I couldn't get a guest host lined up. You were on vacation, so I couldn't just come to fucking trusty old Jeffy. So you were in like Revelstoke or wherever you said you just were, halfway in between not being on the internet and enjoying life for once. But anyway, so it's like all the stuff I have, because the way here's a little peek behind the curtain. The way this works is during the week, I'll see interesting news stories and I'll throw them into a Google Doc, and then Derek has access to that. And then we can both look at it. And then like at the end of the week, when we're going to pod, I'll look at it and I'll be like, all right, this is all the stuff. So I sent Geoff this list, and it's like, some of the stuff is like 3 weeks old.
Things long. Yeah. I hadn't even heard of like 4 of them. I was like, I don't know what the fuck this is.
Yeah. So sometimes, like, usually me and Derek only end up talking about 3 or 4. So I always feel guilty with the guest host because I'm like, here's 36 things. We're probably only going to talk about 3 of them, but I have no idea which 3. So I guess get familiar with all of them.
Yeah,
we could do,
because who knows?
Yeah, we could do a quick hit thing that I used to do with other guest hosts when Derek fucking mangled his back. But first, I want to tell you what I did with my phone. That is fucking hilarious. So, find
Jeff's location. Click.
Yeah. So on Facebook Messenger, which is, everybody should have a Facebook Messenger group because it's always the most offensive, hilarious shit. But I was talking to like, I think it's the people like it's 4 people I play video games with off and on. And so we have a Facebook Messenger, and I was like, we just make bad jokes. So I was like, I sent him a dick pic. I'm like, hey guys, sorry, it's so small. It's only a halfer. But I had Googled giant cock, and I found this picture of this guy with a wristwatch around his dick. Like, that's how big it was. And I sent it to them.
Okay.
And then I text I texted Derek this. I was like, hey, do you want to see a picture of my new watch? He's like, yeah, sure, buddy. So I just sent him that picture. And he's like, and he's like, is that a Rolex? And then I sent it to someone on Twitter in their DMs. And I was like, do you want to see a picture of my watch? And they're like, sure. And I sent them a picture of that. And they're like, Dale. And I was like, yeah, but it's not bad if it's someone else's dick pic. So now my brother, Congo Bill Ford, because this girl, or I guess I spoiled it, but the person I had sent it to, she made a joke about it.
Yes, I know who this was.
Yeah. And then my brother, while you were talking about the like specific location locator, he sent me a text that he said, what's with this new watch thing? And then I just sent him the dick pic over text. And that's what I was laughing about. But that's why I wanted to wait to tell you. Because I didn't want to fucking derail our whole conversation.
That's brilliant. Yeah. On Twitter, Colleen asked me to ask you to see your new watch. It's really nice. Ask Dale to see his new watch. Oh god! Like,
that's awesome.
I was kind of confused, and I was going to wait for a time to bring it up. So now I don't want to see it. It's fine.
I'll send it to you. You need context for this podcast.
You got any little kids watches?
I'm not going to put it on the podcast. I don't want to get fucking murdered for horniness. Or the problem is I took 100 pictures of roses today, so it's deep in my phone. I have to go dig it up.
It's like rose,
there you go.
Rose, dick watch, rose, dick watch, rose.
Side story: what? I got chased by a bear yesterday. Oh, I just texted you that dick pic.
Okay, sweet, I'm on it.
But yesterday, it's huge, right?
Oh, yeah, it's worse than I thought it was gonna be. Oh, now I gotta explain why I have this on my work phone.
Oh, that's your work phone?
I guess it's huge. I don't know.
Yes, it's huge. It's wearing a wristwatch. It doesn't get much bigger than that.
Dicks will never not be funny. I'm sorry, but they're fucking funny. They're so funny. I'm sweating. Is it warm in here?
Is it warm in here? Is it giant dicks?
Is it more bears than a humongous penis? Or as I like to call it, a medium-sized penis.
Oh yeah,
I
that's
don't know.
actually
Oh
small.
fuck, man, I'm crying. I can't believe you said that. Like I was, for some unknown reason, I thought it was just gonna be like a watch, like close up and like dick veins and a watch. But no, that was more than I bargained for. And it was worth every second I took out of this podcast to stare at a dick with
The
a watch
best.
on it.
It all paid off just when my brother was like, "What's with this watch thing?" And then I sent it to him. And he's like,
Oh my
that's
God.
exactly what I was expecting.
Your brother knows you well. That's good.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
So
okay, that was worth the tangent on that one. Oh my God.
That juice was worth the squeeze.
That makes Tommy Lee's cock look tiny.
Oh yeah. Nice segue.
Very average. Very average cock.
Yeah, we could talk about Tommy Lee's, the only part of his body that's not covered in wrinkles.
Hand lotion at its finest. Its finest use.
Did he de-age that photo of his cock? He used a filter online to smooth it.
So yeah, that was something. Like, who does that? That comes back to like rock star behavior, right? Like I'm just gonna post this picture of most of my dick in the bathtub. And I'm gonna just leave it on my Twitters for people to just look at, and I'm just gonna type a little thing that just says hi. So like, where does that sit? Because I don't really.
That's sexual misconduct.
And yet there it is. Is that sexual misconduct?
Well,
flagrantly leaving a dick photo.
Technically, because I guess if you follow him on Twitter,
he didn't do anything wrong. It's just a dick.
Yeah.
Everyone saw it in the 90s, and it's old and weird. And I don't want to see it, but there it is.
Yeah,
so
but if you text that to women, it's considered misconduct. But if you just put it out on blast.
So like, this is where by signing up for Twitter, you consent to see Tommy Lee's old man dick at any given moment.
Old man dick. Yeah. That should be in the fucking
terms
and conditions.
The terms and conditions. I gotta just look up how old Tommy Lee is compared to me, because I might have old man dick. Not that I would. I've never taken a picture of my penis. I don't know if we talked about this before.
Yeah, we did. We talked about it on the Dale show, which is the other show that you usually co-host with me. But yeah, we were talking about dick pics and how you've never sent one because you missed the time when you would send them. Because
just wasn't. I would have had to get it developed at the photo mat.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Tommy Lee's 59 years old. He's 59.
That's a 60-year-old dick.
I don't have old man dick yet.
Okay. What's the age cutoff? 50s?
It makes a 46-year-old dick sound pretty good.
Yeah, that's true. Still small though. My 43-year-old dick is still small compared to that 59-year-old dick. But I'm okay with that because mine isn't riddled with Hep C. Suck it, Tommy.
That's true. Well, or maybe don't suck it. It's probably a better option there.
Yeah, don't suck it because then I would have Hep C.
Yeah. You and Pamela could commiserate about it.
Yeah. I was going to launch into my story about being chased by a bear yesterday. Do you want to hear this?
Tell me about that. Tell me. I want to hear about bear.
The funny thing is we went to Minnetonka Regional Park or National Park or whatever it's called over in Port Coquitlam, I think it is. Anyways, it's like you go to Port Coquitlam, then you go north a bit, and it's this cool like figure eight shaped trail that goes around two lakes or whatever, two halves of one lake. I don't know. They're probably attached. And
it's in half of one lake. Yeah.
Yeah. The first time we went there, we saw a couple bears, but they were like peaceful in the woods. And one was like eating a Canadian goose nest. So it was eating the eggs and stuff. I was like, holy crap, there's so many bears here. And then lately, because after the pandemic, the bears got unmolested by humans and they just fucking made so many bears that they're everywhere now. So we went to Lake Minnetonka yesterday and we're walking around and we're like most of the way done and kind of heading back to the car. And I was like, oh, we didn't see a bear this time. And I was a little bit disappointed. And then we hear like people yell, like there's this part where the trail goes left or right. And they both kind of go back to the parking lot. But I was like, well, let's go left because it's kind of shorter. And to the right, we hear someone yelling, and I'm like, oh God, that's annoying. Like I thought it was just like some young loud dude being annoying, because this park's close enough to civilization that maybe there's like a drunk douchebag there or whatever.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
And so me and Andrea were like, well, let's go. I'm like, let's go left and just avoid those people or whatever. And she's like, well, maybe they need help, because we couldn't really tell what they were saying, because it sounded like he was saying mom or whatever. And then he screamed hello, and we're like, well, maybe he's saying hello. And then it's like you can kind of see through the trees a bit, like down to that path, and I see them coming. I'm like, okay, they're coming. And then they come like half running around the corner, and they're all like eyes big, and they're like, a bear's chasing us. And we're like, what? A bear's chasing you? So we start like not doing the running thing, because you're like, well, you're not supposed to run from bears, but they'll chase you. So we're doing the like half walk jog. These people seem freaked out.
Walk.
Let's go back around and get out of here. And then we fucking hear the bear in the woods, and it's like knocking over branches and shit. I'm like, oh fuck, this is for real. So we start like mostly running, but it's like uneven terrain and shit. So you kind of have to jog and like, and I like
it's
couldn't
sort of
look
weird uphill.
Yeah. And I couldn't look back behind me because I would trip over rocks and stuff. And then obviously I'm the most delicious one there. So I have to be the furthest away from the bear because I'm the fattest. So it's kind of like trying to like look back, but I couldn't. And I just heard it a bit. So we like heard it for like kind of 2 to 5 minutes. I don't know. Time kind of gets all dilated when you're that freaked out. So we kind of ran away. And then we come down to like where the path kind of widens and it's a more normal path. And we look and there's like, we hadn't heard the bear in a while. So we're kind of just like walking back fast. And then we ask them what happened. And they're like, the guy said that there was like a bear on the path and they're like trying to get back or whatever. So they're like, shoo or whatever. And then the bear turned towards them because he said he's like run into bears before and you're not supposed to like scare them when they don't see you. Totally. But he said the bear started coming towards them. And so that's what all the yelling was about. And then they ran away. So I think the bear was just trying to like kind of get them out of the spot that it kind of been like, hey, this is my area to hang out. I'm a
territorial.
Bear. Because if it really wanted to like get them, it would have got them type of deal. Because like bears can run as fast as horses and shit. So it was like, it was super crazy because we got chased by a bear, but we didn't really get chased by a bear. And I never saw it. And I was like, Andrea was super freaked out, which I
totally
don't blame her for because it's fucking scary. And I was, the weird thing was, I was just like, what do I do? Like if this bear comes, if like the bear does want us, it can catch us.
Yeah.
Even though there's 4 of us.
You take that bullet and let Andrea get away. That's what you do.
I picked up a rock and I just held a rock in my hand. I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to throw this at the bear. I don't know if I'm going to hit the bear in the head with it. I don't even know if it would do damage, but having this rock makes me feel better than not having a rock. So we kind of just like ran back and then we got to the parking lot. I just kind of tossed the thing down. And the weird thing is, like, we're kind of trauma bonded with this couple, like, because we talked to them, then we ran with them.
You guys want to see my watch?
I've got a watch in my car.
I got a watch in my car. You want to see it?
But then it's just like, all right, see you later. Have a better second half of the day. And I'm never going to see these people again. But it's like, they'll forever be in my heart because of the trauma bonding we had. And like, if I think back to that situation, their faces are involved with the fearful situation. And it's like, what was I supposed to like?
So what's going to happen?
Give them my phone number?
So this is what's going to happen. One day, you're going to be sitting at the Manchu Walk at Lougheed Mall. And these people are going to come around the corner and you're just going to be like, you'll look at them, they'll look at you, and you'll just walk towards each other and you'll just hug.
Oh, I like that.
Like, where do I know you from? Where do I know you from?
Yeah, just hugging strangers.
Right? You're like, oh, I just know who you are. And then you'll think about it for a few minutes and then it'll come back to you and be like, fucking bear, the fucking bear. And you'll just see those people like randomly one time. And I'm like, that's exactly what's going to happen. I did notice, I did a little kickback to the specific location thing where I told people where you eat. When you're sitting at the Manchu Walk at Lougheed Mall, that's Dale's very specific location.
Yeah. Hey, strangers in the park. If you're listening to this, come meet me at Manchukuo.
Dale'll send you a picture of his new watch.
Yeah. we'll get fortune cookies, and the fortune will just say, "Don't fuck with bears."
Don't fuck with bears. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. You want to see my watch?
That's actually a pretty good bear story. Yeah. You want to see my watch?
I feel a bit cheated because I never saw the bear.
Yeah, you did.
But hearing a bear is scary enough. I can't even imagine like seeing it, like like a bear chasing you.
I saw a bear at Minnetonka one time. My buddy and I were riding our motorcycles like in that area, and we rode down this one little side street. There's like a little side street before you get to the parking lot, and there's a couple of houses there. There's that like goats for sale sign on that red barn, and there's a couple of houses down there.
Is that your house? And you're like, yeah.
And there was a fucking bear, like just no, it's not my house. I wish I could afford the house over there. This bear's like munching away on some blackberries, and there's a dude mowing his lawn, and they're like maybe 45 meters away from each other, maybe like not far. And the guy's mowing his lawn, and we see the bear, and we're like, holy shit. We ride over to the guy, and we're like, bro, hey. And he turns around, he's like, what? Like from his lawn mowing, he takes his headphones off. We're like, there's a bear right there. He's like, yeah, I know. Puts his headphones back on and just starts mowing. like he's like, I fucking know. I fucking live here. There's always a bear here.
Yeah.
He's like, like basically that attitude. We're like, okay, whatever. We just rode away. But he was like so nonchalant about like that bear will fucking eat you. He's like, yeah, I fucking know. I'm like,
was the lawnmower like? Was it one of those little push ones that you can like pick up and use as a weapon?
Yeah, absolutely. It was a gas-powered spinning blade. I like thinking about it.
I would be scared of a bear either.
Yeah, totally.
Just fucking whip it at the bear. I'll do more damage than a rock, that's for sure.
Yeah. So he was like super unconcerned about the bear. So like I guess you get used to it if you live in that area, right?
Oh yeah. And mostly like it's funny because as we were leaving, there's a lady who came in and they're like, yeah, we saw a bear, and she was like, yeah, the bear's always on the left. We just avoid that route. And you're like, oh, that'd be nice if there was a sign.
Would have been
don't go left. There's a fucking bear. And she was like, yeah, the bear's always there, whatever. And then the guy was like, but it chased us. And she's like, oh, that's different. Usually this bear doesn't chase people or whatever. So maybe you smelled good or bad. I don't know. And then they were told the couple to like call the bear number thing, whatever. I don't know, the bear government, whoever you call, just say
government. It's like Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones come out of the woods and like
like just to tell them that
your mind.
A bear did chase you and stuff. So it's a little bit different than a bear sighting. I don't know. So yeah. If you go to Minnetonka, don't go left to the
exactly. Don't go left.
Yeah. On the Oak side. I can't remember what the parking lot on that side's called. There's like two trail. Here, I'll look it up. I'll give you a little advice to take with you.
Dale's gonna give you bear awareness.
Yeah, if you go to the Quarry Road entrance.
Oh yeah, okay.
And you're gonna go in, take the Lodge Trail instead of the I don't know, because there's a Lodge Trail, and then the Lodge Trail is the one to the right, and then the one to the left, it doesn't have the name on Google Maps. I guess Quarry Trail. Don't take Quarry Trail from the Quarry Lodge. Yeah, there you go. Be bear aware.
All right. We're an hour and 15 minutes into these shenanigans. You want to do quick hit, Outrage Factory quick hit?
Yeah. Okay. So.
Okay. Oh, okay. Can I start?
Yeah, you can start.
Okay. A small town in Alabama has brought back corporal punishment in schools.
Yeah.
To me, spanking is about to be reinstated.
To me, corporal punishment sounds like murder, not just getting spanked.
It does sound like murder. Yeah. Corporal is just Latin for body, my friend. That's all it is.
Oh, shit. Look at smart guy over here.
I have a huge medium-sized brain, extra medium. So I find that one funny.
Makes me wish I was back in high school. What's up?
Right?
Talk about sexual
man.
misconduct.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So that one, I thought that one was funny. So I mean, I don't know if there's really much to talk about on that one. I find it, I find that like I kind of get it. It's a small town with literally under 4,000 residents.
Yeah. And
So
some of
I'm
the parents were like, "Thank you for bringing this back."
thank you for
because
yeah.
we're
Totally.
terrible parents and we can't raise our kids without
We're
making
terrible
them
parents.
dickheads. So you guys have to beat them up for us.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't agree with people hitting children.
I do. Fuck 'em.
I mean, it's kind of, I guess it's like, it's not, you shouldn't abuse your child. That's just the thing. You should do that. And no, neither should other people, especially other people in school. I found that story a little weird, mainly based on the, like, it's not like it's a small percentage of the parents. It was like 41% or 37% of parents did not believe the adults in the district were effective at dealing with the behavior of students.
That's crazy.
That's like a pretty big, that's a substantial number. And then another 41% stating they did not believe other students in their child's school were well behaved. So, but I mean, I think that if you ask, like, I know parents on the internet, and if you ask parents on the internet if other kids in your kid's school are well behaved, they'll be, not like my kid is behaved.
Oh,
every
yeah,
parent
definitely.
will say that, and somebody's wrong. So it's, you know, the age-old parenting advice of whether you, like, you're sitting on a playground and your kid hits another kid, and if you go over there and you say, hey, that was bad, another parent will say that you're an idiot. And if you go over there and say, hey, that was good, another parent will say you're an idiot. You can't win, right? In parenting, there's no, like, there's no win situation. Should people be hitting kids? Probably not. Should that be allowed in schools by teachers? Absolutely not. However, in the United States, we've seen this in schools. It's fucked up. They're hiring like ex-police and ex-military to be teachers now in schools so they can stop gunmen in the United States. So, like,
if you want anybody to hit your kid,
hitting that bad,
it's not a fucking American Army vet with
retired
PTSD.
Staff sergeant.
Yeah, that could go bad pretty quickly.
Right? Yeah.
Okay, so next quick hit. Tesla demands the removal of videos of Teslas hitting toddler-sized mannequins because there's this thing where there was one video where a guy was like doing the testing, the auto drive, auto braking for Tesla to stop if someone's in a crosswalk, and it has, I guess the cameras have a problem seeing toddler-sized mannequins, so it hits them every time. And then Elon Musk, of course, was like, hey, stop fucking posting this shit. And then this guy was like, oh, you want me to stop, Elon Musk? So he just started posting. He made like a super cut of all the ones that people had done.
It was interesting, though, to see this too. There's a couple of things. Like, this dude made a television commercial begging Congress to shut down Tesla's research because of this issue. So, like, there's some weird money involved in this and some weird, like, lobbying pieces. But basically, there's no it can't be confirmed whether or not Tesla's newest autopilot technology system was being implemented in the commercial. There's no, like, actual way to tell if it's the beta of the brand new version or the old version that they know doesn't properly fucking work. So it's like it's a whole lot of bullshit. Again, if you do the research and, like, read past the headline and the fucking obvious clickbait stuff, there's a part at the bottom that says, like, really, like, it's two rich dudes pissing on each other. One guy who is trying to develop cars and another guy who thinks that the technology is a bad idea, and they're having a pissing match. And there's bullshit on both sides. So it's kind of this one's kind of a moot one. I wouldn't be outraged about that. The outrage part here, and the part that's catching everyone's attention, is that it's hitting child-sized mannequins.
Yeah, of course, it's salacious.
That's the trigger warning. The trigger warning. Then you read down to the bottom of it, it's basically just a feud between two idiots with too much money.
That's what it is. So in
New York wants people to show ID for this pumpkin pie staple. Again, a very catchy headline. And it's like, you can't buy whipped cream in New York unless you're 21 because they're going to huff it and do whippets. Read further down, and it's not actually whipped cream. It's those nitrous oxide canisters that you can't.
Oh, you
purchase
can't buy the
unless you're over
canisters?
21. It's
And
not the
not
cans of fucking Dairyland whipped
those
cream that you can't buy.
motherfuckers.
It's the can. Read down a little bit further in the article, people. It's the canisters, which can be used to power fucking paintball guns and the torches, and like it powers all kinds of other shit, right?
Yeah.
Anything
Oh,
like
those
air
are the
compressor related.
stainless steel
The
restaurant
little,
ones where
yeah,
you
the
screw them
stainless
on.
steel.
Yeah.
Yeah, you screw them into the whipped cream canister. People are buying those and popping them and doing the whip. It's like straight fucking CO2 going right into your nostrils.
Dude,
right?
that'll fuck you up.
It'll fuck you right up. So I'm cool with that. But the salacious headline of "you can't buy whipped cream for your pumpkin pie" is bullshit. You can still buy the canned stuff, which uses carbon dioxide and not nitrous oxide. They're specifically talking about the ban. You have to be 21 or older to buy the nitrous oxide containers, which that is the same shit that dentists use to knock your ass out. It's laughing gas, right?
Thanks for actually reading that, Jeff.
Yeah, I try to. I'm one of the. Call me old school.
Yeah.
I like to read the full article before I fucking talk shit about stuff. I need to
Not
know
this
things.
guy.
Not
I'm
this
new
guy.
school.
New school. Scratch that. Next one. Next one. You ready? Go.
Yeah, I'll do it. AI rapper dropped from label for saying the N-word.
Incorrect. Once again,
oh,
that's
really?
the salacious headline. You read down below, and it's actually a cultural appropriation issue. It's an AI black person. They're mad about it being a black person. The headline says it says the N-word, and it does say in the article that it does at one point say the N-word. The backlash is coming from people in the black community who are pissed off, and rightly so, that somebody, probably white people, created an AI rapper whose persona is a black person. That's the actual piece of the article that pisses me off. That's the part that should piss most people off and outrage them.
And they instantly scrubbed this guy.
Gone.
His name was FN Mecca. Yeah. And I'm like, I got to hear what an AI rapper sounds like. So I went on to
SoundCloud.
No, I went on to, he's a SoundCloud rapper. I went on to Spotify, and it has his, like, the artist page, but it has no music, but it has him because he was also featured as a guest on a track. So I think that track's still there. So you can actually go hear what this guy sounds like. And he just sounds like, I don't know how to specifically identify different rapper sounds, but he has like the old dirty bastard gruff rap voice, but he doesn't sound like old dirty bastard. He just has like maybe DMX then. Yeah. So he kind of sounds like that.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's that one. Okay.
And then the Republican Klansman logo. So what happened was
this one.
I gotta look this up because I have the wrong here. So somebody posted.
Oh, I got it.
Oh, okay. So
go ahead.
It's
an elephant. So the Republic, the GOP logo is an elephant, and the elephant has 4 legs, and within the 4 legs hanging down are 3 kind of pointed looking things, and somebody drew eyes in the 3 pointed segments, so it looks like Klan hoods.
Here, I'll put it in the comments.
There we go.
But
otherwise, Jeff's using his fingers to describe visuals, and no one cares about that.
And if you're just listening to the audio of this, I will have put it in the video version. So just go watch the video version on YouTube, please. And thank you.
Imagine this is elephant feet. Imagine this is elephant feet, and look at the hoods. Look at the hoods in there. It's obviously a KKK symbol logo.
Yeah. And the funny thing was like a Republican posted this, and they're like, oh, I didn't see the hoods or whatever when I posted this. I just thought it was a cool looking, I didn't know what the eye dots were in between its legs. I thought it was just a cool, because it's a stylized elephant. And the funny thing is that the logo was actually made to accompany an article talking about how there is white supremacists embedded in the Republican Party. So it was like they kind of used something that was made to point out the problem to out themselves.
Totally. So they basically Google image searched themselves into a problem. So
All right.
I'm just gonna
Oh,
steal this and put it on my page. Oh, that's not good.
nice. Next, Zeller's is coming back.
Yeah, I don't really care.
I love
I'm like,
Zeller's.
isn't the
I'm a
department
fucking
store?
fan.
Yeah, I mean Zeller's, whatever. My wife worked for Zeller's when she was in like late high school.
Nice. I
I
like
don't
it
have
because
any
I like
connection to
not
Zeller's. I
spending
don't
a
really
lot of
care.
money. It's
Yeah, I mean,
basically,
if it gives you like a Canadian option of a what do they call this? Like not a superstore. What is a department store? If it gives you a
yeah.
Canadian department store option to shop at that is cost effective, that
Mhm,
you don't have to go to Walmart to buy your staple goods, cool,
mhm.
I'm for it. Other than that, Zellers doesn't really affect my life. They had one. Remember when they tried to? What was it? It was a Target. They tried to open a Target at Brentwood here in Canada, and that whole thing lasted about a grand total of 6 seconds. Do you remember that when they
Yeah.
opened a couple of Target
Yeah. They
locations
had
in
one in
BC, and they
Surrey
was like
that I
they
went
closed
to
down
all
like
the
6 months.
time.
Yeah,
The problem was Target didn't realize how fucking big and sparse Canada was, and their
yeah,
distribution
yeah.
budget
They had
wasn't
no
nearly
products.
enough to cover it. So,
Yeah,
if you don't know what Zellers is, you're not a Canadian listener. It's the Hudson's Bay. The Hudson's Bay Company used to have a kind of cheaper version, like Jeff said, Walmart and Target, but it was all like stuff from the Hudson Bay Company that they would just have. It was their like, what do you call that? Like,
yeah. Like Home Sense kind of thing, right? Where
yeah,
it's like major department store brands consolidated last year's products and sold them,
yeah. But
like
this is
stuff that didn't
actually
sell kind of
run
thing.
by Hudson's Bay Company. It's
By
just all
Hudson Bay.
their stuff. And it's just like the thrift version of their regular stuff. So it's like
Yeah.
cheaper versions of stuff you would find in the Hudson's Bay.
I guess my main concern with it too is like, have you been to a mall lately?
Yeah,
Like,
I go to the mall all the
like,
time.
yeah, I know what's in the mall. A bunch of fucking empty stores,
Yeah, that's true.
right? Anchored by a Walmart and a fucking Rudy's Crystals. What the hell is that
Yeah.
store?
It's a store to buy your crystals, Jeff. Don't you do crystal healing?
It's like there's like a $6,000 geode sitting in the front of it. I'm like, who's the fucking market for this thing? Right?
Oh my God. If I had $6,000, I would buy
Would you
that.
buy a geode and stick it in your house just to look at it?
Um,
I love rocks. Don't get me wrong. I'm fucking super rocky, but like, why would I spend 6 G's on a polished geode for my living room? I'm like, I have other things I need to buy that aren't that. So Zellers, yeah, cool. Right on. Let's see where they open up. I wonder, like, I don't even know where they would be because it's like common practice here in Canada for retail chains like this to like open up in a formerly defunct retail chain area that was there before.
yeah.
So like Target's opening up where a Kmart used to be, or like Walmart opening up where a Woolco used to be, or that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Remember Woolco, Dale? Do you remember Woolco?
I never went to Wolco. That's before my time. That's before my time in Vancouver.
It's just before your time because I learned how to drive in the parking lot of a Woolco.
Oh, crazy.
When I was like 15. Yeah, I learned how to drive a standard, and then that Woolco became a fucking Walmart at some point when I turned 16 or 17. Okay, next one. I got time for a couple more.
Okay, I want to skip these two political ones because nobody really, I don't really want to talk about that.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Which one's the political ones? The Putin one?
The Putin one and the white teachers one. I just want to skip those two.
Oh yeah, screw those. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so can you do one and I'll do one?
Okay. Climate activists fill golf holes with cement in France, and I fucking love this because we're having worldwide droughts everywhere, and they're like rationing everybody's waters, but they're like, oh yeah, these golf courses which use more water than fucking anything else. They're like, yeah, we're still watering these fairways and their greens because these rich dickheads need to hit a ball around. Fuck off with the golf courses. Defund golf courses. That's what I say. So yeah, go ahead.
Do you know how much water it takes to make cement?
A lot.
A lot. I have several major problems with this tactic as a measure to slow down golf courses. Also, have you ever been to a golf course?
Yeah.
Do you know that they frequently change the location of the holes?
Yeah.
And you know how they do that? They cut a hole, like a plug, pull it out, and then they pull the cup out of the other hole and they plug that hole with the previous plug, and then just stick the the cup back in the hole, the new hole that they cut. So like this does nothing to stop people from golfing. Literally, the groundskeeper will go out in the morning before people tee off and be like, oh, this hole is filled with cement. Brings the tool out, click, new hole, move the flag over, boop, done. Hey, golfers, get ready to golf. Take the little top off of the green and just put it on top of the cement. Golden. Doesn't affect their day at all. Ineffective protesting. They're also wasting water by making cement. It takes a shit ton of water to make cement, to mix up enough cement to plug a hole. And it's stupid. Think of another way. Think of a better thing.
I just like it because we need to stop with the golf courses.
Yeah, golf is stupid. Golf is like, a stupid game. It's a stupid game that sucks. And there's no
I like golfing, but I'll fucking golf on AstroTurf. I don't give a fuck. Stop watering these golf courses.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny, man. Like you said, like even during droughts, that's what gets maintained. Like I was driving through the interior, through Sycamoose and through Armstrong and through Salmon Arm. And you come through and like other than farmers' fields, everything's brown except the golf courses. They're brilliantly green.
Yeah.
Fuck them. Who needs it?
Fuck them.
Fuck them. I can't afford to golf, so that's part of the issue.
Yeah, it's expensive as shit.
So expensive.
Yeah.
It's not on my priority list. I have no golf game whatsoever.
Yeah. How many more did you have? 2?
No, I just have the one of the chat bot.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that.
Want to do that one? I actually don't think I read that article.
Basically, they got a chat bot run by AI, and then they like got it to read all this, like check the internet and do a whole bunch of research. And then like what it was an AI where it would like go over the internet, read
Blender
everything, and then you could like ask it questions so it would chat with you. And so people did this, and then it said Meta was exploiting people.
There's a clip here on this website. What do you think of Mark Zuckerberg? Someone asked. He did a terrible job at testifying before Congress. It makes me concerned about our country. You? I want to know what you think. Well, our country is divided, and he didn't help that at all. I'm concerned for all of us. The fucking AI chatbot is concerned for everyone. This is gonna tell you something. If an AI chatbot reads the internet and is like, we're all fucked, then we're probably all fucked.
So it's probably just combining all the comments people said about it, but it's still funny that an AI bot would come up with that, and that's gotta like.
That's still hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Oh my God. That was fun. That was worth it. All right, we're an hour and 35 minutes into this.
That's good. I think we're done. Where can people find you? Where can people find you, Geoff?
Hiding in the fucking forest between Sycamoose and Armstrong. You can't just go on your phone. If you're so good at the internet, go on your phone and use my exact location from Instagram to track me down. If you're that fucking good at it. No, you can find me I'm at Mr. Goats on both Twitter and Instagram. And I mean, go ahead. If Instagram is just pictures of motorbikes and my cat and my family, I'm very inactive on social media these days. Sometimes I complain on Twitter at Mr. Goats, but I live a pretty goddamn good life, and I have excellent friends who are extremely handsome with nice watches. Right there. And and I'm like, man, I don't have much to complain about. So I'm at Mr. Goats. You can come see me, come say hi. I don't bite unless you ask nicely and it's consensual. Even then, I don't leave my house very much. So I'm like, I'm not gonna bite anybody. Anyway, I'm Mr. Goats.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at SuperDalebot. You can find the pod's Twitter at OutrageFactPod. You can send us emails on Gmail, outragefactpod@gmail.com. If you have any feedback, rate, review, and subscribe to us. Please write something that just give us 5 stars and then write yikes or write yikes or I like.
Yikes.
Just write whatever you want because
Yikes,
as soon as you write words into your review, it kicks it up the algorithm and it'll give us a little boost. And we're trying to get monetized on YouTube, and you need 1,000 subscribers. We're at 19. So Just give us
I'm one of them.
981 people out there.
Come on.
We're waiting on you. So
You don't have
get
to.
us
You
up
can
there.
turn your notifications off. As we discussed earlier in the podcast, you can just you can subscribe to the podcast on YouTube and then just turn the notifications off. You never need to see when we're on, but you just subscribe to us so we can get paid.
Yeah,
and by we, I mean Derek and Dale.
Yeah, well,
shit.
You're on the Dale Show a lot, and the Dale Show's on the
Dale
same YouTube feed. And that way, we don't even have to ask you for money. Just you watching it will give us money.
Generates income.
Yeah, there you go. Give us that, like, does that count as not secondary? What's that other word? Passive income.
Yeah,
but
passive
that doesn't count because we're actually making stuff to do stuff.
We're actively making art for you here.
Yeah.
We're making art.
There you go.
Cultural art.
Yeah. Thanks a lot for joining us, stepping in while Derek's
thanks for joining us, Internet.
Tending to the needs of his baby. Yeah, so
I'm happy to help, and I hope little baby, it's Chase, right?
Yeah, no, it's Aiden Chance.
Oh my God, Aiden Chance. God damn it, Jeff, get it right. Yeah, was doing well, that little guy.
There,
cute.
Yeah. Until next time,
stay angry. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing really well, thank you.
Okay, I just got to set up the live on Facebook thing.
Yeah, right on.
So you could still keep talking to me. I just gotta.
So here I am. What I know Dale's just setting up the live Facebook feed for our listeners at home. Hey everybody, on the internet. I am Geoff Gauthier. I am Dale's usual suspect partner on the Dale Show. Today filling in for Derek. Hi, internet. It's like a famous line for those of us who watch the average podcast.
It's
Hello,
it's not started yet.